Today I want to talk to you about my staves, which are, as you can see, beautiful pieces of wood. Quite perfect. These two are shepherd's thumbsticks, so called because you hold them like that. That gives you a lot of purchase on steep hills and such. This one in particular has been with me across the Brecon Beacons. It's been with me fording the Dryw River. It's carried me up to high waterfalls and down again safely. Stopped me falling off at Huffington. It's beautiful. This was my first one. Oops, dropped it. This one is called Ydfran. Ydfran is Welsh for rook, which is my patron bird, you might call it. Totem seems a very culture specific term to use for it, but that's probably true as well. Rooks have been looking after me since I was a child, and this is blackthorn, and it just has the same energy as a rook. When I first became a druid, it was as a result of a vision. I'd had my depression miraculously turned off by West Kennet Longbarrow, and as I stood on top afterwards I saw a vision of myself dressed in green, holding a staff and standing on a silver path, which after a year I figured out was druidry. But I was never sure I'd made the right decision until I went to Brecon with my sister later the same year as I initiated. I initiated in the May and I went up there for August, I think. And we went into a craft shop in Brecon. And there was a display of walking sticks, and I looked, as I always look at such things, because I love wood. And this was stood there, and I recognised it straight away as the staff I was holding in my vision. And if you see the staff you're holding in your vision in real life, it sort of confirms things for you. But at the same time, it was almost exactly the amount of money I had in my pocket. And that was at the beginning of a week-long holiday, I think, possibly even 2 weeks. So I knew if I bought it I wouldn't be able to buy anything else, and I was trying to be sensible while simultaneously knowing that I had to buy it. My sister saw me agonising over it and immediately bought it for me. It is absolutely perfect. If you look, this is about, well, not far short of 5 foot tall, and it's beautiful. It is exquisite. It used to be shod with metal. If I ever get a chance to get it reshod I will, but it lost the metal somewhere in a harsh winter when it was taking me to Oxford every day, because the snow was so bad that I was holding one of these in each hand and using them like ski sticks to get through the snow in my big walking boots. So that's Ydfran. This little treasure was also bought in Brecon, but in a fairly cheap shop. It cost me £10, whereas that one cost me 35. But it's beech wood. It's very, very strong. As you can see, it's still shod, although it won't be forever because the metal tends to come off. Not on this one yet, but as we saw with the other one it does. You've seen that, this lovely gold. I love that. But this one is called Dryw Bach, which is Welsh for wren, and this has a much subtler and quieter energy. I've got chocolate on the back of my hand from somewhere. Well, from chocolate, obviously. Oh dear. Shocking, I should have washed my hands. Right, so Dryw Bach has a very light feminine energy to her, and she doesn't like going out amongst crowds. In Oxford she didn't enjoy it, whereas this one buzzes when it's amongst people. And this one, actually, we used to use it for the street parties that we did in Oxford, because my employer at the time used to run these community parties, and when she held this, people listened to her. I think it was partly the thought, maybe she'll hit me with it, but mainly it gives off this quiet authority. The blackthorn is a staff of natural justice, and it has a lot of power. And one reason why I'm very careful who I lend it to is that it will quite happily trip you if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. If you lie to someone, for example, it can get quite dodgy with you. So I never lend it to anybody who I think is going to act dishonourably, because I'm afraid it's going to hurt them. And I am very scrupulous when I'm around it, because, well, I try to be scrupulous all the time, but I certainly wouldn't want to do anything wrong while that was there. This third one doesn't have a name. Well, maybe it does, but it hasn't told me it yet. This was growing. This is actually the entire trunk of a sapling. It was growing in a garden where we were living at the time, and part of our job was to keep the garden clear of ash tree saplings, so I had to cut it, and it was like stabbing a friend through the heart. I hated it, and all the time I was cutting it I just thought, this has to be for something more than just to keep people happy who don't like trees. So I decided I would make it into a staff, and as you can see, it's not shod at all at the bottom, and it is a bit split, and it may need work to make it stronger, but it's been seasoning for a couple of years, and I really don't want to do much to it, because so much of the personality of the tree is still there. That beautiful bud there for a start. I mean, I could not strip this bark off. If it falls off, that's fine, but it's a very beautiful staff, and one day I will find out what its name is. As you can see, this is dramatically taller than my others. Quite amazing how tall it is. And it is a very good stick for gently herding spiders. Because you've got this little tip bit at the top that is quite soft, and just putting it near them generally is enough to make them move away. I would never attack a spider with a stick or with anything else, because it's not their fault I'm afraid of them. You'd have come to the conclusion now that spiders have something to teach me, and that I'm just not ready to learn it yet, but I'm working on it. As you can see, Ydfran is a very beautiful staff. Dryw Bach has this lovely golden glow to her all the time. And this nameless one has the beautiful grey of ash bark. Ash, of course, used to be used for spears and axles, because it's extremely strong and straight. But that's my three main staves. I also have a little hazel walking stick, but these are the ones that I tend to use most often, and Ydfran above all. Ydfran, I've actually been known to sleep with Ydfran at my side, because he gives me absolute confidence. He's buzzing now, bless him. He's full of power. Every druid should have at least one really beautiful staff, and I have 3.